Assalamualaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the topic here we will discuss today it is the simple Korean and its examples. So the word Korean we also just listen in our daily life that material just cruded. Now what does basically happen in this process? So the Korean is basically the gradual wearing away of a metal through the chemical reaction, or we can also call it as Korean. It is a slow process in which the metal is just eating away. The metal is just eaten away by the surroundings chemical reactions. So this is basically known as the Korean, in which the metal just cruded away or it may started to decay or it may be wearing away or eaten away by the surroundings chemical reaction. This process is known as the Korean. And a lot of examples we have when we just keep the iron substances in the environment. We just have a look on that after some time when it has just the moisture, then the metal just started to crude away. So why it just crude away by the surroundings? What type of chemical reaction take place? The reaction over there is basically a redox reaction. That redox reaction involves both the processes of oxidation and reduction. Now, what are the main reasons behind the Korean? We will discuss over there. Before that, we have the types of the reaction in the Korean. Basically, for the reaction to take place, that is the redox reaction, there is the requirement of two types of electrodes or the sides. The number one side is called as the cathodic side, and the second we need as the anodic side. Because these two sides are responsible for the process of reduction, and anodic side is responsible for the process of oxidation. Now, how does that oxidation and reduction takes place? So, if the water where is present in high concentration and the one side it may be present in the low concentration. So the site where there is a stains or the dents on the surface of the irons, it will work as the anodic side. Now at the anodic side there is a more concentration of the water and the process of oxidation will take place. Likewise here we have an iron, it loses the electrons, then it started to form that type of material with the combination of the oxygen that is present in the air. And these electrons will move towards the other side where the concentration of water is low. That side is known as the cathodic side. And here the process of reduction takes place in the presence of water. If the paint layer is worn away from any surface, then it may come in contact directly with the atmosphere and the atmospheric air and the moisture will affect that surface and the process of corrosion will takes place. So for the process of corrosion of the takes place, the material or the things or the basic conditions that are compulsory, it is the presence of moisture and the presence of air or oxygen. These two conditions just are responsible for the formation of the rust or the process of the corrosion of the metals. Now here we have the types of corrosion. Basically, the classification of Korean just happened on the three bases. The first one, which is by the type of the corrosive environment, that what type of environment is present around the metal. Now, by the nature of the destruction, that how do that metal undergoes the destruction process, and by the types of the corrosive process, that what is the main process that is, it may be a chemical type process or it may be a electrochemical corrosion. So by the type of the corrosive environment, it may be a gas, liquid, depends upon the soil, atmospheric region, or it may be the stray currents that is happening in the metals. And if we have the second condition, which is by the nature of the destruction, the construction may be continual, non-stop, it may be the local, or it may be intergranular, or maybe in the internal side of the metals. The third is the type of the reaction or the nature of the corrosive process. It may be chemical corrosive, maybe react chemically with the different substances, or it may be electrochemical corrosion. So both can be happened types of the corrosion. Here we have the examples of the corrosion. The corrosion may be of a uniform type in that it is making a hole and different flakes or the porous layer over the surface of the metal. It may be atmospheric corrosion, that is the effect of the atmosphere. It may be the corrosion fatigue, that the things that we just take for a long time and we do not touch that, it started to the corrosion time, which is fatigue. So this is also the corrosion fatigue, in which it started to corrode from downward, because here the moisture will be present more on the earth. Then we have intergranular corrosion, in which the simple granules of the corroded material started to make over the surface of the metal. Then we have the pitting corrosion, in which the small pieces or the small dots like corrosion started on some specific area of the metal. And here is a stress corrosion, which is the most worst type of the corrosion, in which the metal is just eaten away by the surroundings chemical reaction. And the last one is the waterline corrosion, in which the things that are underlying the water for a very long time, they started to corrode in one way or other way. When they started to corrode, this corrosion is being an unstoppable, because that surface is not being covered with any type of the paint or any other material which is not corroded with the effect of the atmospheric conditions. So this is some examples of the corrosion. I hope you guys understand about the topic, that what does mean by the corrosion and what are its main types. If you have any queries, you may ask me about that in the comment section. The next topic that we will discuss, it is the rusting of iron and the corrosion of aluminium. These are the two types of the corrosion. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.